Boom. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the Blind Buy Chronicles episode number 3. At long last, this series has returned with the addition of Soul Cafe. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is very clearly a decant, and we've only done full bottles on this series. I actually had a full bottle of this, but it got put to Canyon's disposal for his birthday. So I have the sample, he has the bottle, and both are the same thing. It's still a blind buy and still a raw reaction of the first time smelling this fragrance. And so, nevertheless, the show must go on. And today we have Savoir Faire's Soul Cafe. Now, I probably butchered the company name. I think they're French. They have those ties, something of that matter. But Soul Cafe is a fragrance that Canyon and I had both heard about. It was super hyped up. People were putting this fragrance. Now, I'm not just talking about your average Joe. I'm talking about fragrance influencers with hundreds of fragrances. They were putting this in the top 5 to 10 in their entire collection. And Canyon and I knew we had to jump on it. Knew we had to try it out. And so that's what this video is for. I've already sprayed it out. Haven't smelled it, but just got the atomizer opened up. And I'm going to smell this out of the cap because I've heard it's very strong. I have the notes right here in front of me. I'm going to take a minute, get my bearings about me, and then we're going to talk about this Soul Cafe and if the hype is actually quite justified. And so, oh wow. Opening up the cap here, immediately getting hit with a multitude of notes. Okay, we'll be right back in just one moment. Okay, so I had to take a minute because there is a lot going on here on screen, and I sprayed it on skin, had to get my bearings about me here, and really just see what this fragrance is all about. Here's the interesting part, is the first thing I noticed immediately is that this fragrance has so many different notes going on, but there's not really one that stands out in particular. And a lot of these notes that I'm about to read to you are very divisive. You either love them or you hate them, and a lot of people wouldn't like some of these notes in this fragrance, but I think it's so smoothed out and it's so well blended that you just kind of get a combination of everything. And so in here you get blood orange, coffee, patchouli, tobacco, black pepper, musk, amberwood, bergamot, lavender, and oud. So that blood orange mixed with coffee, tobacco, pepper, bergamot, lavender, and oud. I mean, there is a lot going on here, but it is done really, really well. I mean, I'm surprised a little bit because this is exceeding my initial expectations. You can definitely get the blood orange and the bergamot in the top. That citrus, it's bright, it's juicy, it's that zesty citrus, especially with the blood orange there. But the lavender and even like the coffee and the tobacco are kind of there as the backbone of the fragrance. And they're not done harshly. It's not a harsh tobacco. It's very smooth, very well put together. And the coffee even too. I know coffee fragrances can be very divisive. This isn't like a burnt coffee. It's not a black coffee or anything harsh or off-putting. It's very smooth. It's almost like freshly grounded coffee beans that's smoothed out. You're getting ready to make your cup of coffee, and it's put together with all these citruses. You got some soft woods in the background. I think that's from the musk, amberwood, and oud. And then that lavender just gives it a special, just nice aromatic touch. I mean, wow. There is a lot going on here, but that is in the absolute best way possible. I mean, I had high hopes for this fragrance because the notes were so right up my alley, and the same for Canyon. That's why I just went ahead and full sent it for his birthday. I was like, well, I mean, these notes are something that both of us really enjoy, and so I just kind of went for it. But I had high expectations because of how well people had talked this fragrance up to be, but it has exceeded my expectations. This might be the biggest win in the short history of the Blind Buy Chronicles that we have ever had. I mean, just here glancing at the notes, I would say the main notes, because like I said, there's a lot. I've counted 10 notes on Fragrantica here. But out of the 10 notes that they list, I would really focus in, if you're trying to see if you want to buy this fragrance or not, or at least test it out, I would try the blood orange coffee, bergamot, lavender, and oud are probably the 5 main fragrances you really need to focus in on. And it's very ironic because I actually didn't realize this until like yesterday or the day before when I'm filming this video. I went over to Canyon's house after purchasing Soul Cafe, and he had sprayed out on a tester strip 3 fragrances. All 3 were from this company. One of them was Soul Cafe, one of them was Beau Noir, and then the other one was some rose fragrance. I believe it's like tobacco rose or whiskey rose. Whiskey rose was it? So it was Soul Cafe, Whiskey Rose, and Beau Noir. And all 3 were spread out on a tester because he had gotten some samples of the other 2, and then of course the Soul Cafe bottle. And I picked up all 3 on the tester strip without knowing which one was which. And 2 things stood out to me. First off, all 3 of those fragrances that I smelled from this company were objectively good. Like objectively very solid, very pleasing to the nose, very well blended, high quality notes and ingredients. But the middle tester strip was Soul Cafe. And I told Canyon this even after the fact, that middle tester strip that had Soul Cafe sprayed on, it was noticeably better than the other 2. I'm talking, I picked it up again and even asked him what this fragrance was because it was just that noticeably better. And I'm not even dissing the other 2. I'm more so trying to compliment Soul Cafe and just how good it is. And how well it works. And so honestly, really, really good. I'm gonna have to give this some wears, wear it to the office, wear it out on date nights and things like that, because it's that good. I see why these fragrance influencers that have smelled hundreds of fragrances are putting this fragrance that not a lot of people know about in such a high tier of excellence. And even when you consider the price too, I got the bottle off their website. The pricing for the quality of stuff you get, at least from what I'm smelling on skin, is very good. I ordered a 50 ml for Canyon. Of course, this is a 10 ml, but a 50 ml was 138 USD. And so, honestly, not bad. Would it have been better if it was 100 ml for 138? Well, yeah, of course. But in today's fragrance economy where you're paying more for a fragrance and you're getting less quality and less performance and less longevity, this is a nice change of pace. And honestly, for a niche fragrance company, a 50 ml fragrance for $138, that's really not that bad. I mean, a lot of these niche companies are charging $200, $300, $400. I'm looking at you, Louis Vuitton. A lot of companies are doing like that today. And LV, for example, is not even niche, it's designer. So you really get a lot of expensive prices in today's fragrance economy. But this Soul Cafe is just really, really good. I've not had a lot of people smell this, and not a lot of people in my life have ever heard of this, and so that's going to have to be something that I get their reaction of in the next couple days and weeks. But man, I really can't describe to you just one particular note, as I've said, just because it works so well. And I really think, of course, the citrus and the lavender is really going to give it that spring and summertime push. But honestly, the tobacco, black pepper, and then the amberwood and oud, so the woods, those 3 elements of the fragrance give it just enough of a backbone to where this is certainly an all 4 seasons fragrance, at least off my nose. This isn't going to be just your summer freshie or your citrus bomb that you wear for 3-4 months out of the year and just forget about it for the rest of the year. That's not going to be the case with this. This is a year-round, day or night time, formal, casual, wear it wherever you want, spray however many sprays you want of it. I mean, I'm not sure how good the performance and longevity is, and so I'm just kind of going off the cuff there with that assumption. But based off of what it's been doing off my skin and how well blended it is and how everything just complements each other, this is a unique fragrance, but even with its uniqueness, it is still going to be something that I believe is incredibly mass appealing. And I have to give it props because a lot of fragrances can do that coffee or can do the citrus or can do the tobacco, but putting all 3 together and making it work is quite the thing to do. It's quite the achievement if you're able to actually put all these notes together, blend them, and pull them off in a way that makes sense and that forms a coherent fragrance. And Soul Cafe absolutely does that. Honestly, almost to an extent, I feel like this fragrance, at least in my mind, from what I've gotten here, this takes me, as the name would honestly suggest, it would take me to a cafe or it'd take me to a coffee shop. But the coffee shop doesn't just serve coffee. They've got like some fruits and some pastries. So you kind of get those sweet elements mixed in with the soft background of coffee. And obviously the tobacco and black pepper are also coming in there a little bit as well. And so really good fragrance. I would absolutely consider this blind buy a win. And honestly, right off the cuff, I'm going to make a statement. It might sound crazy. And honestly, my opinion might change over time or it might increase over time. But this right here, I believe, is a top 10 potential fragrance in my collection. I'm counting decants and full bottles. I think this could be flirting around the 9th to 12th best fragrance, 13th best fragrance I have. Right there in that range. Obviously, I've got to give it some more time. Got to wear it some more. Got to make sure that the performance and longevity hold up. But this is a really high quality, once again, well blended fragrance. Checks all the boxes, does everything you'd want it to do. It's unique, and I can already tell this is going to be a year-round long compliment puller. And so it's a win in my book. Canyon, I believe he got to smell it as well, and he really enjoyed it. And so you got 2 wins right there on this blind buy. And let me know if you've tried Soul Cafe. If so, what are your thoughts on it? And if you've never tried it, after watching this video, are you thinking about it now? You're going to have to go check out Soul Cafe. And if you end up doing it, drop down in the comments section below and let me know what you end up thinking about it. Great fragrance. I'd recommend it. They have discovery sets on their website, so that'd be a good way to go. Just get your feet wet and really see what this company is all about. But that's all for me here today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Continue to drop video ideas down in the comments section below. We're coming out with fragrance videos, devotionals, golf content. If I don't accidentally delete the video before it's published, if you know, you know, unfortunately. But we're coming out with all sorts of content. We're still pushing towards 2.5K, so I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Hit that bell if you haven't already. And you guys stay safe, and God bless.